Sirius Gate, a journey to the heart of consciousness and the cosmos. O travelers on the path of light, into the expanses of existence. We embark on a comprehensive exploratory journey into an application that has stirred waves of curiosity and wonder in the world of meditation and spiritual evolution. The Sirius Gate app. This is not just a simple relaxation tool. Rather, it promises an integrated methodology, a roadmap towards unprecedented horizons of consciousness and wisdom. Let's begin with the basic definition. What is the Sirius Gate app? What makes it different and bold compared to traditional meditation applications? Sirius Gate defines itself as the first methodology revealed in history, combining the essence of ancient spiritual sciences with modern energy and astronomical sciences. It doesn't just offer relaxation, rather it describes itself as the sole path to achieving a very specific and high goal, communication with the star Sirius, said to be the star of wishes, and through it, access to wisdom, superconsciousness, and the pinnacle of human consciousness, the station of prophets and the righteous, the station of exiting this material matrix to where dust equals gold. This is the reason for our creation and existence in these recurring lives, to transcend this matrix. This unique and singular application promises a truly transformative spiritual experience, not wasting time with practices that might be described as superficial.
Thus, it is a real journey towards a deep existential goal. Sirius Gate requires a new and challenging approach, stipulating that the user must be in good mental and physical health and possess a sincere desire. What is the importance of these conditions from a psychological and neurological perspective? These conditions are absolutely fundamental, indeed crucial. The methodology described by the application, especially the advanced stages, which involve isolation from people and seclusion in a private place, demands significant psychological and physical endurance. Deep meditation practices can evoke suppressed emotions or psychological challenges, and this requires a solid psychological foundation to manage them. Furthermore, strict and long-term commitment, combined with good mental and physical health, is necessary to avoid burnout or deterioration of one's condition. Likewise, sincere desire, seriousness, and perseverance are very powerful psychological drivers. According to self-determination theory, this internal readiness increases an individual's likelihood of commitment and resilience in facing difficulties. A growth mindset, characterized by perseverance, is linked to success in endeavors requiring continuous learning and adaptation, such as this journey.
The methodology is divided into 3 successive phases, extending for at least 1.5 years. From an experience design perspective, how does this division affect the user? And what about the high commitment requirement in the first phase for progression? The phase structure provides a clear roadmap, which is beneficial for users seeking specific guidance. The existence of stages to be completed creates a sense of accomplishment and progress, which motivates continuation. The first phase, which requires 85% adherence to daily, twice-a-day practice for at least 4 to 6 months, aims to prepare the user for transitioning to the next stage. This commitment leads to the solidifying of a meditation habit. The brain needs time to form lasting habits, and the app allocates a period, 120 to 180 days, for this. From a technical perspective, this means the app must include a very precise tracking system for the user's commitment level, and perhaps internal evaluation mechanisms to determine when the user is ready to transition to the next phase. This is unconventional and requires transparency in how it operates. Ultimately, the user is responsible for their transition to the difficult next phase, and therefore, they must be honest and serious in their engagement with the app to reach the end of the journey and reap its unparalleled benefits, which defy description. Let's delve deeper into the phases. The second phase is isolation from people in a private place. What are the spiritual goals of this phase? And why does the app describe it as preparing the brain to access gamma waves? Isolation from people is an ancient practice found in many old traditions, meaning withdrawal from the world and sensory distractions for a specific period. In this app, it means 10 consecutive days each month for 10 months, not necessarily continuous, with a maximum of 5 years. Its goal is to tame and purify the self, deepen spiritual connection, and reprogram perception. It's an intense environment that allows for profound inner focus. The connection to gamma waves here is an attempt to link this spiritual practice with a specific neurological state. From a spiritual perspective, the high states of consciousness sought through retreats may manifest in particular brain activity. The app views this phase, being the most crucial and challenging, as essential for bringing the user to a gamma wave frequency to be ready for the final phase.
Can practices like isolation truly prepare the brain to access gamma waves? What is the relationship between gamma waves and higher consciousness and perception? Yes, deep and intensive meditation practices, especially in a distraction-free environment, like a retreat period, can significantly affect brain activity. Gamma waves, 40 to 80 Hz, are the fastest and are associated with complex cognitive processes, focused attention, and integrated awareness. Increased gamma activity has been observed in advanced meditation practitioners. Temporary isolation, as science confirms, stimulates neuroplasticity, making the brain more responsive to forming new neural pathways. Thus, isolation provides ideal conditions to foster this neural adaptation and possibly increase the likelihood of accessing high gamma activity states associated with altered states of consciousness and expanded perception, which the app describes as preparation for cosmic flow and wisdom. The final phase culminates in the use of the pyramid, as the pyramid will only be beneficial as a place for meditation if the user has reached the stage of accessing gamma waves. The pyramid carries strong symbolic and historical connotations. How does the app connect the pyramid to the Orion constellation, the star Sirius, and Stargates? And why does it describe the pyramid as the only exit from the matrix? In many esoteric traditions and ancient civilizations, especially Egyptian, the pyramid is not just a structure, but a cosmic symbol and a gateway.
The pyramid's association with the Orion constellation and the star Sirius has roots in ancient historical and symbolic theories that view these celestial bodies as energy stations or contact points. The app takes this concept to a new level, stating that the pyramids were specifically built for us by highly conscious beings to be a cosmic clock connected to Sirius and Orion, and that the pyramid's shape is the most powerful for collecting cosmic vibrations. It further states that exiting the matrix is the purpose of our creation, and the pyramid is the door to the greatest Stargate and the sole path to pass through it. This connection gives the pyramid a central role in the user's journey, as if building and using a pyramid model is part of reactivating an ancient and hidden secret to find the path to salvation from the cycle of recurring lives in this matrix. Scientifically, is there any basis for the idea that pyramidal structures affect electromagnetic waves in ways that enhance meditation or receive divine vibrations? Some studies have indicated minor effects of pyramidal structures on electromagnetic fields, and perhaps potential effects on biological systems, which might be linked to deep relaxation or the synchronized wakeful state ideal for meditation. However, this research is still in its preliminary stages and insufficient to support broad claims about receiving divine vibrations or being necessary for passing through stargates. The concept of divine vibrations is currently more metaphysical than scientific. From a psychological perspective, using a powerful symbol like the pyramid can enhance focus and deepen the meditation experience by activating archetypal symbols in the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung noted. Belief in the pyramid's power can also increase positive expectations, thereby influencing the user's experience. We move on to another unique element, the divine mantra. The app rejects the use of music and human-made effects, relying solely on the mantra described as the voice of God, articulated using the human vocal apparatus. How does this affect the user experience? And what about the insistence on vocalizing it instead of just listening? Foregoing music and sound effects focuses the experience entirely on the mantra itself, which may appeal to users seeking purity and concentration in meditation. From a technical perspective, this doesn't mean the app should provide the mantra with sound effects or anything else, but rather provides it as a simple mantra for the user to learn the correct pronunciation of its letters. The app's goal is not for the user to hear the mantra, but rather for them to vocalize it correctly and properly. The insistence on vocalization has a physical and mental dimension to the practice. Vocalization engages the larynx and creates vibrations, which increases user focus and helps fill awareness with the sound, disregarding other thoughts, a fundamental aspect of meditation. The app acknowledges the possibility of listening via headphones as an alternative in certain circumstances, but it prefers vocalization for its stronger effect, and this should be clear to users. The idea that each mantra is unique, changes daily, and each mantra is for a specific chakra requires a dynamic technical system to update and deliver content daily and accurately. The app also provides specific mantras for each of its 3 phases, tailored to suit them. The mantra is described as the matrix of existence, etched in our genes, balancing us with the cosmos, activating divine light and memory, and reminding us of our original self. What are the spiritual roots of such concepts? These concepts resonate strongly in many metaphysical and spiritual traditions. The idea that sound or word is the basis of creation exists in Hermetic and Gnostic philosophies, and in the sacred text, Be, and it is. In Hinduism and Buddhism, mantras are sacred sounds believed to carry vibrational power that affects consciousness and inner energy. The connection to genes, DNA, is an attempt to integrate this spiritual concept with a modern understanding of biology, in the idea that these fundamental cosmic frequencies are encoded in our genetic structure. Its recitation restores harmony between us and the universe, which was created with the same order.
The idea that the mantra activates the gene and reminds us of our original self aligns with many spiritual practices aimed at awakening the true consciousness dormant within humans. Furthermore, the idea of meditating with the Sirius Gate mantra as a surrender to the spirit or higher self to take control and download energies of divine light is also an expression of the concept of surrender to divine will or universal wisdom within us. As opposed to the ego's, individual mind's control, which may obscure the light. Scientifically, is there any modern explanation for how the repetition of a specific sound, mantra, affects inner energy, or what is described as chakras and meridians, or even any potential link to DNA? Scientifically, the repetition of sounds creates vibrations in the body and can affect the nervous system. Mantra repetition is linked to reducing activation in brain regions associated with anxiety and increasing activation in emotion regulation areas. This contributes to feelings of relaxation and peace. As for the concepts of chakras and meridians, they are part of traditional energy systems, such as Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, that are still under investigation from the perspective of modern Western medicine. Some studies explore the relationship between these systems and nerves or connective tissues in the body, but they do not conclusively support the idea that mantra repetition opens energy pathways or alters DNA structure. The use of terms like geometrical forms and replacing darkness with light in cells are powerful metaphors in the context of energy and spirituality, but they do not reflect currently known biological processes.
The app also emphasizes precise timing, changing daily according to the sky, with the app closing outside these times. What are the technical challenges in implementing this system? And what is the potential impact on user experience? Implementing this system requires an extremely complex technical architecture, Optimal times for each user must be calculated based on their geographical location and the movement of celestial bodies, and these calculations must be updated daily and accurately. This requires a precise GPS system and integration with complex astronomical data. The app's closure outside these times is a measure to enforce discipline and ensure use during times believed to carry optimal positive energy. As the app states, it's a great secret being revealed for the first time to avoid negative energy. You cannot meditate whenever you want, but only when the app permits you. This may increase the perceived value of the experience, rarity of the stimulus, but it can also cause frustration if the times do not suit the user's daily schedule. Although the app mentions that the times cover all parts of the day over a month, the user is still restricted to a specific time window daily. The idea of alignment with cosmic rhythms exists in ancient traditions. How does this manifest in the context of spiritual seeking? In the cosmology of many traditions, the universe is considered a living entity with its own rhythms and cycles. Humans, as part of this universe, are affected by these rhythms, whether lunar cycles, planetary movements, or even broader rhythms. Aligning spiritual practices with these rhythms is believed to enhance their effectiveness. The app believes that this synchronization with celestial movements always provides positive energy, which it claims is missing in other meditation programs. It establishes a direct link between spiritual practice and the cosmic order, enhancing the feeling of belonging to something greater and connecting with the cosmic flow. Is there any compelling scientific basis for linking meditation timing to receiving positive cosmic energy or divine vibrations? Scientifically, our biological rhythms are primarily influenced by light and darkness, circadian clock. There is emerging research on the potential effects of Earth's magnetic fields or solar activity on human psychological and physiological states, but linking the movements of specific stars at specific times to determining optimal positive energy for meditation falls outside the scope of what can currently be scientifically proven. From a psychological perspective, the belief that you are meditating at the right time, in alignment with the cosmos, can increase feelings of meaning and purpose, enhance self-efficacy, and stimulate positive expectations, all of which contribute to the effectiveness of any psychological or spiritual intervention.
The app promises grand ultimate results: spiritual clarity, warm peace, wisdom, superconsciousness, and exiting the matrix. Sirius Gate describes these goals as the treasure of this life. What are the implications of these goals in the broader context of spiritual seeking? And are they achievable at the speed the app mentions? Less than 2 years? These goals are indeed the pinnacle of spiritual endeavor in many traditions. Achieving spiritual clarity means purifying the self from impurities and psychological obstacles, as the app mentions, and transcending anger, hatred, vanity, arrogance, and false thoughts. Accessing wisdom and superconsciousness means transcending material sensory perception to a deeper and more comprehensive understanding of reality. Exiting the matrix means liberation from the constraints of the material world and attachment to it, and seeing reality as it truly is, where dust equals gold. These are states that enlightened beings strive for very long years, perhaps decades, while the Sirius Gate app offers them to all who desire in the shortest possible time, which makes this app the treasure of existence and unique and singular in our world. The app's claim of condensing this journey to less than 2 years is a bold and unprecedented assertion, stating it is the secret humanity has awaited for centuries. This condensation might be possible through an intensive and precisely guided methodology, but it demands absolute commitment and deep readiness from the user. The creator's bounty is limitless, as the app mentions, and this opens the door to possibilities beyond our limited minds. But accessing these possibilities is conditional on honesty, seriousness, perseverance, and purity of heart.
From the perspective of cognitive psychology and neuroscience, can an intensive meditation program lasting 1.5 to 2 years truly bring about deep cognitive restructuring, leading to the feeling of exiting the matrix or achieving superconsciousness. Scientifically, practices requiring continuous repetition and regular engagement over long periods, as per cognitive structural change theory, can establish new neural pathways and bring about deep transformations in thought patterns and perception. Brain imaging studies on advanced meditators show significant structural and functional changes in brain networks associated with consciousness and perception. Deep cognitive restructuring is a transformative process involving dismantling and rebuilding the fundamental reference frames through which we perceive reality, and this can be subjectively described as exiting the matrix. Superconsciousness can be understood as a state of advanced neural integration, where brain systems work in greater harmony, improving cognitive functions. The speed of achieving these changes varies greatly from person to person, and depends on factors such as genetic predisposition, past experiences, and level of commitment. The claim of reaching these goals within a specific time frame requires careful self-assessment from the user regarding their own experience. The app also emphasizes a fundamental prerequisite for starting: a heart full of love for all beings, honesty, seriousness, and perseverance. It states that with this condition, the heavens welcome you with all love, and you don't need a spiritual teacher because you are in the company of the great Creator. How can app design reflect these deep and intangible spiritual requirements? App design cannot force the user to possess a heart full of love, but it can emphasize the importance of this intention during the registration process.
It can also encourage the user to meditate on these concepts as part of the practice. Focus on honesty, seriousness, and perseverance can be supported through commitment tracking mechanisms and strong reminders. The idea of, you don't need a spiritual teacher because the heavens guide you, is part of the app's philosophy and design, where the app positions itself as a direct intermediary between the user and the heavens, or the great cosmic mind. While this might simplify the user experience in one way, no need to seek a human guide, it places full responsibility on the user to interpret their experiences and challenges without direct support from another person. These high requirements make the app not for everyone, but for those who are ready for this type of deep commitment. The concept the app presents about the pyramid's role in the final phase, being an antenna connecting you to the star, a means to stimulate the pineal gland to pave the way for superconsciousness, and linking this to the cosmic crown chakra. How can this be interpreted spiritually? This integration of the pyramid, the star Sirius, the pineal gland, superconsciousness, and the chakra system is a complex synthesis combining concepts from various esoteric traditions. In some schools, the pineal gland, known as the third eye, is considered a center for intuition and spiritual perception. Its activation is believed to open gateways to higher consciousness. Linking it to the pyramid and Sirius suggests that the pyramid is not merely a shape, but a tool to focus cosmic energy coming from Sirius and direct it towards the pineal gland for activation. Chakras are the main energy centers in the body, and the crown chakra, the 8th chakra in some systems, is associated with connection to cosmic or divine consciousness.
The idea that the pyramid rebalances the 7 chakras, and that Sirius regulates the crown chakra through this practice, is an attempt to present an integrated energy model, explaining how this practice leads to accessing superconsciousness and spiritual integration. The use of the symbol of Osiris, master of spiritual transformation, and sitting in the pyramid as a king on the throne of cosmic energy, enhances the user's feeling of deep transformation and spiritual empowerment. Scientifically, is there any evidence that the pineal gland is stimulated by geometrical shapes or sound frequencies from a stellar source? And what is the relationship between the pineal gland, DMT, and altered states of consciousness? Scientifically, the pineal gland produces melatonin, an important hormone for regulating sleep and the circadian clock, and it is also linked to mood and memory. There are also theories, not yet conclusively proven, suggesting that the pineal gland may produce small amounts of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a substance with powerful hallucinogenic effects, believed to be associated with altered states of consciousness, vivid dreams, and perhaps near-death experiences. However, there is no scientific evidence to support the idea that the pyramid's shape or frequencies from the star Sirius can stimulate the pineal gland or increase DMT secretion. Linking this to the crown chakra is a concept from traditional energy systems, not modern neuroscience. While meditative practices can influence brain activity and states of consciousness, perhaps indirectly affecting hormone secretion like melatonin, the specific mechanism presented by the app is not currently based on established scientific evidence. The app promises that the user will feel a difference and steady progress towards the goal from the first phase. How can good app design reflect this sense of progress and maintain user motivation during a long and arduous journey? App design features like daily commitment tracking, clear display of practice duration, and perhaps a system for awarding achievement points upon transitioning between phases or reaching specific milestones can play a role. Let's delve into how to meditate according to the app and the accompanying conditions. What is the spiritual importance of instructions like purifying the heart from vanity and arrogance, forgiveness, seeing divine wisdom in events, and that your energy is love you must give? These instructions are the essence of many spiritual and ethical teachings. Purifying the heart from vices such as arrogance, vanity, and hatred is a fundamental prerequisite for walking any true spiritual path, as it removes the veil or barrier between humanity and truth or divine light. Forgiveness liberates suppressed psychological and spiritual energy associated with past pains. Seeing wisdom in negative events is an advanced step requiring a deep understanding that everything that happens carries lessons for our growth. The idea that your core energy is love and that giving this love is the key to harmony with the world and transforming it around you is also a fundamental principle in many spiritual philosophies that view the universe's fundamental energy as unconditional love. These are not merely meditation techniques. They are a way of life that must accompany the practice. How can practices like forgiveness, compassion, and seeing wisdom in pain affect psychological and physical well-being, according to research? And what about the link between meditation and healing power? Research in positive psychology and contemplative neuroscience strongly supports the relationship between positive emotions such as love, compassion, and forgiveness and well-being. Practices of compassion and universal love are linked to activating the parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for relaxation and increasing the secretion of hormones like oxytocin. Forgiveness can lower levels of stress hormones like cortisol and reduce activity in brain regions associated with anxiety. Seeing the positive side or lesson in difficult experiences is a positive coping strategy that increases psychological resilience. Studies, including the Harvard study mentioned in the text, indicate that regular meditation can improve physical health, reduce stress and pain, and even positively affect gene expression, supporting the idea that meditation has healing and preventive power beyond mere relaxation. It stimulates neuroplasticity, enhances focus, and reduces harmful habits.
The app provides clear and detailed instructions in the form of written text within the app before beginning the vocalized mantra. The app also offers practical instructions on how to sit, breathe, focus on the mantra, and how to deal with distracting thoughts or phenomena that might occur, such as seeing light specters. How can the app effectively convey these instructions to users? And what do you think of the advice not to pay attention to visual phenomena? The advice not to pay attention to light specters or other visual phenomena is common in many meditation traditions that focus on the primary goal, connection to deeper consciousness, and avoid distraction by secondary sensory experiences that might occur. The brain produces electrical activity in the form of waves at different frequencies, reflecting different states of consciousness. Beta waves dominate in a state of wakefulness and daily focus. When we relax, alpha waves appear. In states of light sleep or deeper meditation, we see theta waves. Delta waves are associated with very deep sleep and very deep meditations. Gamma waves, the fastest, are associated with the highest levels of cognitive activity and integrated consciousness. Meditation aims to change these waves, often by transitioning from a noisy beta state to calmer states, alpha, theta, delta, or more integrated states, gamma. The pineal gland is a small but important part of the brain, historically known for its association with consciousness, producing melatonin related to sleep and the circadian clock, and potentially linked to DMT production, known for its effect on states of consciousness. The idea of the third eye and its connection to the pineal gland and spiritual concepts suggests that its activation may open a window to deeper perception. The app, through its methodology, seeks to guide the user towards states of consciousness specifically associated with theta and gamma waves to achieve wisdom and superconsciousness. The supreme concept promised by the app is integration with the pure divine spirit, and it describes itself as the sole path to achieve this. What is the concept of spiritual integration or union in ancient traditions? Integration or union with the divine spirit, or union with the Creator, or the integration of the two brain hemispheres into one lobe, is the pinnacle of spiritual experience in many spiritual traditions. It is a state of consciousness of absolute unity where the individual transcends the feeling of separation and realizes they are an integral part of the divine existence. This state is described as the peak of spiritual purity and cosmic consciousness. The app's claim that it is the sole path to reach this state is an extremely exceptional assertion. While the methodology might be effective for a specific path, spiritual history is replete with stories of individuals who reach transcendent states through very diverse paths and practices. From a psychological perspective, can integration with the divine spirit be described as peak experiences or unitive consciousness? Yes, the concept of integration with the divine spirit in the context of deep meditation can be understood as akin to the peak experiences described by Abraham Maslow, or states of unitive consciousness studied in transpersonal psychology.
These states are characterized by a deep sense of unity, self-transcendence, expanded perception, and a feeling of profound clarity and joy. Research on very advanced practitioners shows changes in brain activity, especially in the default mode network, responsible for self-awareness, suggesting a transcendence of the normal sense of a separate self. Considering all we've covered, from the challenging methodology and intensive phases, to the divine mantra and celestial timings, to the use of the pyramid, and the pursuit of superconsciousness and exiting the matrix, I advise anyone considering this app to approach it with full awareness. It offers an intensive and bold spiritual methodology inspired by ancient traditions. Daily consistency, perseverance, and commitment to the Sirius Gate app through its daytime and evening meditation sessions will provide the user with a good life in harmony with the cosmos. A feeling of peace, tranquility, and serenity within their human environment, and will even spread it to everyone around them. If you are psychologically and physically ready and possess a sincere desire and unwavering commitment to embark on a very deep spiritual journey that requires letting go of many distractions, this app might be worth exploring. However, remember that the spiritual path is always a personal and unique journey, and purity of heart and sincere intention are fundamental, regardless of the tool used. Be honest with yourself first.
Make absolutely sure you are in excellent mental health before starting. Do not hesitate to stop or seek external support if you feel the experience is causing significant psychological difficulties. Your self-assessment of how you feel clarity, comfort, and improvement is most important. Do not compare your experience with others, and do not overstate expectations based on bold promises.
From the user's perspective, the app demands a very significant commitment and imposes strict restrictions, timings, closure initially, but over time, the user will feel that the app's become an important part of their day and life. Ensure you are prepared for these commitments in your daily life. Be aware that the technical experience might be unconventional. Evaluate whether the philosophy the app offers aligns with your spiritual convictions. It is not a quick relaxation app, it is a long-term commitment. If you are seeking this type of structured and intensive spiritual challenge, you might find what you are looking for, but be prepared for effort and perseverance to reap the great spiritual treasure and be among the fortunate in this life.
Ultimately, Sirius Gate is indeed more than just an app. It is an invitation to a transformative journey that requires special readiness. It integrates the wisdom of the past and the tools of the future in an attempt to reach the deepest levels of human consciousness. The conditions are difficult at first, the challenges are significant initially, and the promises are immense in the end. Are you ready to open this gate?